Anthony Bourdain spent years in the underbelly of the New York restaurant circuit before achieving overnight fame with his incendiary memoir, Kitchen Confidential, published in the year 2000. That was the catalyst for his very successful transition into becoming America's favorite celebrity chef, / documentarian, / political activist, / raconteur, / okay, I'm out of slashes, but you get the idea. In 2018, Bourdain unceremoniously killed himself in a French hotel room. He was at the height of his career and madly in love with an Italian actress. So why would he want to die? Was it severe depression that caught up with him? Or something more sinister? That's today on Death in Entertainment.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder,
Injury and death.
Oh my God!
Shocking new details.
that has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway?
Death
In entertainment.
Hello.
Hello. How's it
Incoming
going?
call.
Incoming call. Something just popped right when we started recording here.
Pick it up.
Kyle, for some reason, times his calendars to update as we're starting the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that was actually an alarm to start the podcast.
Yes.
A
Really?
reminder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So good thing I had that, or else we wouldn't have been doing this right now.
my God. Saved by the Apple fucking OS.
That's right.
Whatever.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Kyle Plouffe,
My name is Mark Bulkarin.
And I'm Alejandro Dowling.
and we are jumping straight into episode 34. We're dealing with Anthony Bourdain today.
This was teased in the last episode
It was.
In what way? Wait, maybe I blacked out the last one.
because Rob Cohen directed the first Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah.
And we brought up
Oh, Asia Argento.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
That
her
piece of work.
relationship to Anthony Bourdain.
This is
And I said, I will say no more because that's an upcoming episode.
This is a brilliant segue right into because he allegedly drugged Asia Argento.
Ooh.
Rob Cohen?
Rob Cohen, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was very fast and furious with that drug, whatever he was using.
Call back.
I just want to, my episode, I just want to keep
Yeah, exactly.
keep reminding people, download it, like it, subscribe to
Yes.
it.
If you are listening on iTunes, please subscribe to the podcast, follow us, give us a review, 5 stars.
Even if it's a quick review, like saying, you guys are fucking awesome,
Yeah.
5 stars.
Nice
Just
little note, something.
say some words, please.
Yeah, these guys think they're better than me.
Yeah, they are, but still also.
Spotify now has a 5-star program. So if you listened to at least 1 or 2 of our episodes, you are allowed to review us. Please, 5
Yeah.
stars.
And you
Because
don't
we
have-
got one asshole out there that's trying to.
We gotta hate. Yeah, we got some fucking
Let's
diabolical assholes out there.
Let's not dwell on that asshole.
No.
Yeah,
He's in the minority.
Yeah.
I think this is the guy that's gonna stalk and kill us one day. But
Yeah. It's probably William Shatner.
yeah, and that'll be the final
No.
episode.
It's probably Rob Cohen.
Mhm.
Well, the shit list is growing longer and longer every episode as we keep going along here.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah. So to counteract the shit list, please leave us a nice review, everybody. And yeah.
And the shit list will be growing today
Ooh.
as we go
Go on.
to June 8th, 2018.
Ooh. Okay, pop culture flash, June 8th, 2018. Kyle, do you have anything in the ways of famous birthdays around this time?
I believe I do.
What a
you.
random question.
I know. I just figured I'd give him a shot, and he picked up on it.
Famous June 8th birthdays. We have Miss Joan Rivers.
Oh my God!
Who are you wearing?
Can we talk about my birthday?
You're a cunt.
my face is plastic.
And she's
That
talking.
was like Woody Allen.
I am doing Woody Allen, Joan Rivers.
Was that your impression of her talking to Melissa Rivers?
Yes.
Yeah. maybe evil Ed McMahon will come in. Hi, John. How you doing this week?
Hi, Ed.
Yeah. I'm drunk.
We got Juliana Margulies. Margulies.
Yeah.
Not familiar with the name, but probably the
ER.
face.
From Sopranos also?
Never seen it.
The Good Wife.
God.
Never seen it.
I'm gonna kill White. Kill White. I'm gonna kill Kyle one of these weeks.
I'm gonna kill Whitey.
I'm gonna kill Whitey.
Look, the Good Wife I understand, but The Sopranos, Kyle.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like Italian people.
Oh my God. Well, who's the last one?
Of these boots are made for walking fame. Miss Nancy Sinatra.
Speaking of Italian, speaking of Sopranos, she was actually in the second to last season of Sopranos.
She was?
Yeah.
She's still alive?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the
Really?
Sopranos ended. I don't know if you.
I thought she
you
was
were
long
so out
dead.
of touch. Like it was 2007. Sopranos ended.
Yeah,
so.
but still, I thought she was dead in like the 90s for some reason.
No.
No. Still around.
Shows how much I know.
Trivia.
Still kicking with those boots.
Did you know that she's Frank Sinatra's daughter?
Get out
What
of
the
town.
fuck? Hold on.
Wait. That I did know.
Hold
Okay.
the phone.
And she was a fan of Anthony Bourdain.
Really?
She tweeted after his death that he was a voice for the people.
Oh, wow.
Not a fan of Donald Trump. She hated his guts, and she was very vocal about it on Twitter. She still manned her own Twitter account.
That's great.
Yeah.
You got to let the people know. NBA Finals at this time. The Golden State Warriors claim their third title in 4 years with a 108-85 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers for a 4-0 sweep. I love that because fuck LeBron James.
Oh, he was on that team?
Yeah. MVP was Kevin Durant for the second straight year. I don't love that because Kevin Durant's a little baby bitch.
Yeah, he's a little biatch.
Yeah. Go Celtics. We swept them this year.
We are in the year 2018, though.
Yes. Don't worry about it.
You beat the Bucks, so shut your yapper.
Yeah, we had a nice little Game 7 powwow here. The Celtics just beat the Milwaukee Bucks from, we got me and Mark here from Massachusetts and Alejandro's from Wisconsin. So it's a nice little rivalry.
Correction. You mean Milwaukee sucks.
Hello. The Red Flops.
Letting us down.
Yeah.
Well, you've been used to that, so I'm sure it's nothing brand new.
Like I told you guys earlier, they were a non-entity when I was growing up.
Yeah, I remember Brad Lohaus in the 90s. That was like their superstar.
Yeah. Yeah, Brad, who the hell gives a shit?
Very sad stuff in Milwaukee. So the biggest movies around this time, I'm going to start from the back and I'm going to move my way forward.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like a woman wiping back to front.
Excuse me. Hello.
The wrong way.
I wipe side to side, actually. Number 3 is Deadpool 2.
Nice.
Ryan Reynolds. I never really got it with the Deadpools.
I didn't either.
They're fun.
My sister called me one time. It's like the first time she saw the Beatles. She's like, this is the best thing you've ever seen.
Oh, a lot of people said
Deadpool.
that.
I'm like, all right.
Well, it's the first rated R superhero movie in the MCU outside of Blade. Blade is not like canon.
The Wesley Snipes.
God, here we go.
Wesley Snipes Blade. Yeah.
This is now an MCU podcast.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Give me a break. All right. Number 2 is Solo, a Star Wars story.
Boo.
Terrible.
That was such a disaster. It had directors in line. They were fired. And then Ron Howard of fucking Apollo
Days.
13, Happy Days, Ed TV fame.
Ed TV, that's my favorite.
Stepped in and said, "Oh, I'll direct it." Like Leno.
Yeah.
All right. All right, NBC, I'll work for you again. Yeah.
And they barely recouped some money with that one.
Oh God, the scene that I was just like, I'm done with this movie. When he's like running away from the cops and he's trying to get on this plane and they're like, what's your name? And he's like, Han. And they're like, well, who are your people? And he goes, I have no people. I'm Solo. And so that's how they came up with the name Han Solo. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Boo.
I thought it was the story about that guy, Free Solo, who was on the mountain.
It was about Hope Solo.
Hope Solo.
Who
That's
the soccer player.
was conceived in prison.
That's a much better movie, the Free Solo.
Much better, yeah. I think we're all secretly hoping he fell off the mountain, though.
It was riveting. I knew he didn't, so it kind of ruined it for me.
Speaking of reboots, the number 1 movie at this time was Ocean's 8.
Hello, girls.
Hello, ladies.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Y'all ready to ocean?
Y'all ready for this?
Dun,
Ocean?
dun, 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 dun. Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I like the Ocean's movies, and maybe one day I'll give it a shot.
I've never seen one of them.
You know what? I actually saw speaking of Sinatra, the original.
The original, yeah.
And it's very boring.
It's Ocean's 12, right?
No, it's Ocean's 11.
Oh, yeah.
And people have reverence for it, but
Yeah.
it's actually not a very good movie, and it's pretty
It's
boring.
like them having reverence for the Rat Pack. Like, if you ever saw their stage show in Vegas, you'd be like, this is terrible.
It's the
They're
Rat
coming
Pack
out with, like, no pants on. They think it's hilarious.
and using Sammy as a prop.
Yeah, and they're just, being racist to him, and, like, think it's funny, and, like,
gosh.
hey, you're black. It's like, well, okay, this is comedy.
That's right, babe.
Honey, you got it. You hit the nail on the head.
That's my Sammy Davis. I do impersonations.
Sammy
That was my-
/ Bobcat.
Bob,
Hi.
Mine was
Bobcat
Sammy
Goldthwait.
Davis / what's his face? Dennis Miller.
Oh,
Hey,
babe.
hey, babe.
Oh, yeah. maybe he stole that from Sammy Davis.
Hey, babe.
Feels like I'm living in a Cronenberg movie or something.
Yeah. I feel like it's a Baryshnikov directed by George Lucas here, babe.
Ron Howard directing the Nutcracker Suite, babe.
Yeah, I think he had a formula, Dennis Miller. Add in an obscure thing, and then another obscure thing, and then babe.
Yeah.
Right.
He was actually a good stand-up, but, he's a right-wing crackpot now, so.
Go Trump, babe.
Yeah, now it's like, hey, I like the guy, okay, babe? Number 19, actually.
Oh, let's just jump right to number 19.
Let's
on
go
the list.
way down the list here. A movie called Won't You Be My Neighbor was directed by Morgan Neville,
The Mr. Rogers
who
documentary.
who also directed a film about Anthony Bourdain,
Oh.
Roadrunner.
Won't You Be My Neighbor? I went to go see that documentary on Pico, and the director was actually there and answered a bunch of questions. I didn't realize he also did the Anthony Bourdain one.
If you think about it, it's kind of interesting that the day Anthony Bourdain died is the same day Won't You Be My Neighbor came out in theaters.
And I think that was the day I saw it in theaters. That's actually pretty creepy.
On Pico.
Dun.
Bum, bum.
Cue the music. Anthony Bourdain. You know?
You said it, pal.
He was born on June 25th, 1956 in Manhattan, but raised in New Jersey.
Joyzy boy.
Joyzy.
How do you say this? Leonia?
Yeah.
Is that a more upper crest neighborhood?
I don't know. I know anything typically in North Jersey is the nicer areas like Orange and stuff around there, but I'm sure there's some select areas that are not so nice.
Right.
Some people would say Newark is not a nice city, and there's a couple in there that aren't perfect,
Yeah.
but they're like nicer areas. It's like South Jersey's like no man's land.
Yeah, no, it's not bad there. It's right next to the Palisades Park in New Jersey, and right next to Fort Lee. It's right on the Hudson River.
So you could see the whole city from there.
Yeah, he's right across the river from Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
He grew up in a well-to-do household where books ruled. And it was a household that was intellectual and not religious.
Yeah.
And there was no drama. His parents both had very good jobs. His father, Pierre, was an executive at Columbia Records.
This is all like the exact opposite of my family.
I know, mine too. No one read a book in my family.
Smart, not religious.
Yeah.
No drama.
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's the part that I definitely can't
My family was
relate to.
getting hammered and beating me with crosses all day
Yeah,
and night.
exactly.
They were burning books.
Yeah.
And this guy became a heroin addict.
I know. What the fuck?
That tells you something. It's, you never know.
It reminded me a lot of, not to shoehorn this in, but Lil Peep.
Yeah,
Because he grew up in an intellectual household.
that is true.
And he felt like he had to pay his dues and slum it.
Yeah.
Even though he had all the privilege in the world.
It's something about, I think, America in general, is people that do have extreme wealth and privilege, you do feel bad about it. And I think it's in all pop culture, and especially around this time in New Jersey, you got Bruce Springsteen saying, he grew up poor and, rich people are keeping him down and stuff like this. And maybe he kind of is just a huge Bruce fan that he absorbed that message that much.
Yeah.
That he felt like he had to slum it like other people did.
Perhaps.
The boss.
He was coming of age, though, well before Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, like the 60s and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I take your point, though.
But like Jack Kerouac, the
Exactly.
beatnik people before that and stuff?
That's his
That's
thing.
his generation?
Yeah, Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
Jack Kerouac. The 60s are ending.
You suffer for your art or suffer for your personality, and you kind of like, you have to like have that time.
And you experience
And that
things.
Bob Dylan song, like a Rolling Stone, you just gotta like live like a bum for a while.
Yeah, he doesn't want to live in a well-to-do household where his parents love him.
Yeah.
In fact, he said that that was a catalyst for his acting out.
This is why I think. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. My mom told me, she's got a lot of hot takes on everything. She told me she watched the documentary recently, Roadrunner, and it made her not like him anymore.
Wow.
She was a big fan. Everyone, loved the show where he went all over the world and stuff. But then when she saw this part of him, he's just so mixed up mentally.
Yes.
It made her kind of mad.
I can see that.
Yeah, like you threw it away.
Yeah, and she has no patience for bullshit, really. So I can understand there's some nuance to his personality. He's kind of fucked up, and he just doesn't know what's what. But I think it came out in just severe anger with my mom.
Yeah.
Specifically, he said that their biggest crime was that they loved him.
That sentence alone is insane. That's an insane.
He's acknowledging that it's insane. Too,
Yeah,
though.
okay, that's
it's
true.
a bit tongue in cheek. He pondered this. Why was he acting out so much when he had the world at his fingertips?
Yeah.
The same goes for, later in life, too.
Yeah.
So his mother was a staff editor at the New York Times.
Wow.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
yeah, this is a household where they had interesting conversations at dinner.
Well, this would also be like, you see it online all the time. I'm on Twitter, and you see people like, and on TikTok too, there's a guy's account is dedicated to outing people from privileged families and like how they got ahead, really. Because they make it seem like they started from scratch. It was all on their own, whereas, they had these family connections and stuff and money that really helped them along the way.
Yeah. Find out that Timothy Oliphant's a fucking Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
That was the biggest shock of the Paul Walker episode.
I just heard the Beastie Boys too. They came from severe, not severe, that's a weird way to say it, but like big,
Severe wealth.
Severe wealth and privilege. Yeah.
Wealth that'll cut you.
Yeah. It'll kill you.
Anthony Bourdain made an impressionable trip to France when he was in 4th grade with his family.
Yes.
And he recalled...
Is that what accent is that?
Rich.
Lorne Michaels.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
He recalled trying the cold French soup vichyssoise for the first time. And he's like, I've never had soup before this. This is the first time I'm enjoying a soup that's not Campbell's.
I knew you were going to say Campbell's because I love Campbell's.
And
soup.
it blew his mind.
Yeah.
Vichyssoise.
Oh, this is why.
And he became interested in shock value food, like the stinkiest cheeses that smell like feet, tripes, brains, etc.
Well, yeah, because that's why, like, later on, he enjoys going to distant lands and eating, like, lizards' heads and shit.
Yep. France at that time, it was a wonderland for underage drinkers.
Oh, yeah.
So he's having the time of his life this summer, discovering food, drinking, and he recalls having his first oyster. He said that it was as memorable to him as losing his virginity.
My first oyster was better than my first clam.
Hey-o! He was a Catskills comedian also.
And we have an excerpt of him talking about this experience.
Let's hear it.
The family made friends with this old grizzled Frenchman who had a boat. And so out on his boat,
What?
Oh, hey, old grizzled Frenchman with a boat.
Yes. How can I help you?
They went to get
Also,
oysters.
get on the boat.
And so the old Frenchman presents an oyster, to Anthony Bourdain.
Hey, young boy, would you like an oyster?
To go with your stinky cheese.
Yeah, it's a wine.
Your smelly fromage.
And I'm going to inject you with heroin. Oh, it's too early for that.
With a snubby, rust-covered oyster knife, he popped the thing open and handed it to me. Everyone watching now, my little brother shrinking away from this glistening, vaguely sexual-looking object, still dripping and nearly alive.
Jeez, it's so
He's in fourth grade,
in
by
my
the way.
hand,
Yeah.
tilted the shell back into my mouth as instructed by the now beaming Monsieur Saint-Jour, and with one bite and a slurp, wolfed it down. It tasted of seawater, of brine and flesh, and
He knew
somehow
brine.
of the future. Everything was different now. Everything. I'd not only survived, I'd enjoyed. This, I knew, was the magic I had until now been only dimly and spitefully aware of. I was hooked. That one moment, still more alive for me than so many of the other firsts which followed. First pussy, first joint, first day in high school, first published book, or any other thing, I attained glory. And everything that followed in my life, the food, the long and often stupid and self-destructive chase for the next thing, would all stem from this moment.
I love
Food had power.
He says, I survived. Bro, you're 9 years old.
I know.
That's what I say. How did he know what fucking... I still don't know what brine is, really.
Yeah.
How did he know brine at 9 years old?
he makes up this reality that,
Yeah.
was he really feeling all these things, or this is his own recollection that, he's cutting with every experience he's had since then.
To give him the benefit of the doubt, perhaps he's re-piecing his experience, understanding it more as an adult.
Yeah, he's putting it into context and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah. It seems like, remember that movie Call Me By Your Name? It seems like that movie, but he's just fucking the food only. there's no relationship there. He's just like fucking clams and shit.
American brine.
American brine.
We'll just tell your mother we ate it all.
He's like grinding with the
So it's
the
American
oyster.
Pie now.
Yeah, he gave himself a circumcision with a clamshell.
Would you like to fuck a pie tonight, sir? 9-year-old son.
They find a bunch of shells in his bedroom.
In his foreskin.
Have you been fucking shellfish again? It's like the drug commercial or something. Anti-drugs. I learned it by watching you, Dad. I learned it by watching you fucking shellfish.
I learned it by you sticking clams up your ass.
I saw you fuck that lobster, Dad. What about
To be
Mom?
honest, his story is so vague. He might have had sex with the oysters. You don't know.
At least someone's fucking the oysters.
I feel like we know.
Yeah. I'm sure he was.
And so in 1973, he graduated from high school early. The world was his ashtray, as he put it. He was a spoiled, narcissistic young guy, and he ended up dropping out of Vassar College.
I thought that was an all-girl school.
Vassar?
Yeah. I think it was maybe, and then eventually they turned. They invited one boy to go.
You either have to be a girl or like oysters a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vassar College up in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Okay.
Private liberal arts college. Was the second degree granting institution of higher education for women. So it wasn't all women, but it was mostly.
Some guys are let into these women's
But
colleges.
that's the best situation.
Yeah.
Meryl
For Anthony
Streep-
Bourdain, yeah, but he quit though.
I know. What the fuck?
Meryl Streep,
Not enough shellfish.
Anne Hathaway, and Jackie Kennedy Onassis all went there.
Jackie Kennedy.
Notable alumnus.
So they're still waiting for the big one.
Yeah.
In 1975, he headed over to Provincetown, Massachusetts.
Ooh, P-Town.
P-Town. as
P-Town,
it's
stay
called.
down.
And he said at that time, It was clogged with tourists, day trippers, hippies, dopers, drifters, slutty chicks, lobster poachers, and cruising gay men.
I was going to
Geeks,
say,
dweebs, spazzes, they all adore him.
did he say skanks in there somewhere?
Slutty chicks.
Slutty chicks.
Wow. These are his words?
And that executive skank
Yeah.
Yeah.
who'd hit on Marilyn.
And
Right.
Plenty of seafood to fuck.
Yeah. He joined the party. It was a big party there, but eventually he needed money, so he became a dishwasher, otherwise known as a sud buster or a pearl diver.
What kind of slang does he make
Pearl
up for
diver.
himself? A pearl diver? What the fuck?
He's a descriptive guy.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's kind of his business, his trade, if you will.
He also started doing heroin.
Nice.
Nice.
And becoming a dishwasher, that was his entrance into the life.
Yeah.
That's where his climb to chefdom began.
There was no looking back.
And everything is romanticized in his view.
That's true.
He
yeah.
wasn't a cook. They're not cooks. They're pirates.
Oh,
My
God.
God.
Arg.
They're Johnny Depps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope not. You're shitting in beds?
Well, that's Amber Heard.
Oh, yeah. Their maidens are shitting in the bed.
My maiden shit me bed again.
When I was fucking a lobster.
In 1978, Bourdain graduated from the Culinary Institute of America.
So he started off as a dishwasher, and he really, like I said, no looking back, he just went all the way.
Yeah.
His parents were probably so happy he finally got into something and got away from them.
He also had a younger brother by a couple years.
Yeah, the brother's a genius, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was more on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, that family was probably so much happier once Anthony was gone. Can you imagine? They're like, they shut the door, and the dad puts his back to the door, and they're like, and the party starts.
We got another letter from Anthony. You want to hear it?
Oh God, he's not coming back, is he?
You want to hear what he's up to lately?
Why are there oyster prints all over this letter?
There's a lot of slutty oysters in P-Town.
There's a used condom in here.
In 1980, he became a chef in Manhattan. And that's the kind of lifestyle where you never see the light of day.
No.
And he went from doing heroin to coke to crack.
As you do.
And he got so
Natural
into
progression.
it. He was such a drug addict that he would search for drugs on the carpet.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, if
Once
he
he was
dropped
all
some
out?
coke
Yeah,
or
yeah. It's
crack
like,
or
oh, I
something.
must have
Yeah.
left a little morsel somewhere.
Snorting dust from the
Yeah,
carpet.
potpourri.
By the end of the decade, though, he had endured 6 years of rehab and supposedly got off of heroin by the time the 90s rolled around.
Shit.
And he quit cold turkey because he said, I realize I have something to live for.
Yeah.
Oysters up his ass.
Well, there was a Bradley Cooper movie produced by Chef Gordon Ramsay that was about Anthony Bourdain's life, actually.
Well, there's a TV show.
Which one was that called?
Oh, are you thinking of the No Reservations, the movie?
No. Bradley Cooper acted in it, and him and Chef Gordon Ramsay were like buddies.
Because there was a Fox show in 2005 called Kitchen Confidential,
Okay.
literally based on the book Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, okay.
And Bradley Cooper played a chef named Jack Bourdain.
Hello. No, well, this was a different one. I guess
different one?
they did two different. This was
Okay.
a movie.
Bradley Cooper's like, let me try this again. Didn't work the first time.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. Yeah, this was like.
I think you're thinking of No Reservations.
It's called Burnt in 2015.
That
Yeah.
No Reservations is a romantic comedy with Catherine Zeta-Jones I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Burnt, you're right.
Burnt, where he plays kind of like an up and down roller coaster ride chef who like is on, he's back on the mend where we start with him, and then we see him have a relapse, and then it's kind of like the relationship that Anthony Bourdain had with Chef Gordon Ramsay, where they're competing all the time and like their chef stuff, whatever they do, and then it's a decent movie. I love Gordon Ramsay, and I like
He's great.
Anthony Bourdain. So.
Love Kitchen Nightmares.
No, the best one is
Hotel Hell.
Hotel Hell is another one, but yeah, Kitchen Nightmares is the best one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Kitchen Nightmares.
Amy's Baking Company.
Amy's Baking Company, where you have to watch this to experience it. You will not be able to take your eyes off the screen while watching this crazy person who has a restaurant in Phoenix, Arizona. He goes there. It's some crazy cat lady with some weird husband that claims he was a former gangster that doesn't really speak English.
She kind of looks like Elizabeth Holmes.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, she
shit.
has those eyes.
We're gonna have to watch live stream this while we watch it.
It went viral at the time.
It did, yeah.
2013.
And everyone bombarded the Yelp and the Facebook with negative messages. People would just prank calling in all the time,
That's
and people
hilarious.
would go in just to have the experience of have this crazy woman yell at them. It's like going on a ride of like a bad, food experience.
And the big thing that came out of that is
he quit doing that job.
they stole the tips from the waiters.
Yes, yeah.
The owners.
Yeah, and Gordon Ramsay goes to some of the people that were eating, like, do you know that they steal the tips? And some guy eating goes, that's fucking awful. And then
I saw that.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I saw
Okay.
that part.
That's an
yes.
excerpt of that entire thing.
Yes.
And at the end of it, Gordon's like, I've never done this before. I have to do this. I'm quitting you guys. I'm leaving. Because part of the show is he goes in, he sees.
Because wasn't there an older husband too?
That's
He was
the
like
guy.
yelling at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He yells at some guy, you pay and get the fuck out of here. And the guy goes, I didn't even get anything yet.
I did see that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Almost like a soup Nazi from Seinfeld.
Yes.
That hasn't paid his dues.
And
though.
the food's
he has
not
no,
good.
Yeah, he has no
Yeah,
right to talk to people
yeah,
like that
yeah.
because nobody likes the food anyway.
Yeah. The waiters hate them. And they fired like 5 waiters per week or something.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that whole restaurant industry is bonkers.
Yeah. But Amy's Baking Company, I think the pandemic finally killed it, but it was an experience. But yeah,
Yes.
we'll probably do a live stream with that.
We
at some
will
point.
live
Yeah,
stream it at
for
some
sure.
point. So yeah, Bourdain's off of heroin now, and he spent some 25 years going from kitchen to kitchen, often many of them failing businesses.
Amy's Baking Company is a failed business. It closed in 2015. Sorry.
Oh, even
nice.
before.
Just wanted the people to
same,
know.
Same year Burnt came out, so that's fitting.
They saw the pandemic coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wasn't in a great spot by the end of the 90s.
Are they all
financially?
Are they all his businesses, or some of them?
No.
They could have been like other people that like, hey, we heard about you, Anthony. You're a good chef. Come work with us. And then like any restaurant you're in is on the way of going out of business.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He was a chef at these places.
Yeah, he was a hired gun. But you really have to be 110% when you're bringing it at that level as a New York chef.
Mhm.
Like you really cannot miss anything.
No.
And if you're on drugs or doing anything or even just getting hammered at night, you're bound to fuck up here and there.
Yeah. In 1999, he was the executive chef at a middle-brow restaurant called Brasserie Les Halles.
That sounds like the place like tourists get stuck in when everything else is too busy.
Halles, Les Halles, in Manhattan. And this was an unpretentious tavern.
Because Manhattan's not really known for their like French taverns. Like maybe like a Irish kind of like half bar, half grill or something where you can get like a French dip or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, this doesn't seem like the cuisine that lends itself to like getting day drunk with friends.
No, not at all. And in the past few years, it closed to bankruptcy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it lasted that long.
It was on
I am too.
Park Ave and 28th Street. So, I mean, it could have been pretentious if it was on Park Ave. That's like Millionaire's Row.
Well, now everything in Manhattan fucking pretentious.
Yeah.
You're pretentious if you show up.
Yeah. If you're on the West Side Highway, you're pretentious.
And all this time, Bourdain had literary aspirations, as you heard with the Oyster story. He's got a lot going on in his head, and he's also seeing a lot. He's remembering every feeling, every smell in Manhattan.
Is he clean at this time?
Supposedly, he continued to drink,
Yeah.
but he was off of drugs, at least illegal drugs.
Okay. So he had beaten heroin in like the 70s. So
No,
he
by the end of the 80s.
by the end of the 80s. Okay.
Yeah.
So now he's just kind of like, oh my God, what's my end game here? How am I going to get out of this? Because being a chef, you're not going to be able to make a living wage. You're not going to be able to live.
It's a hard life.
It's a hard life. And he's probably seen other chefs that he used to look up to that are like, I
Ugh.
must get out of this business.
Yeah.
You know?
Unless you're like an executive chef at Wolfgang's or like some big like ritzy
Yeah.
spot. It's tough.
The time most people are getting off of work, even going to bed, that's when it's hopping
Yeah.
in his world.
Yeah, and he's ripping cigs. He's like
Being a
drinking and
stripper.
stuff. Yeah. Kyle has no respect for chefs, and I respect that. Actually, I respect that stuff because I think chefs are assholes. When did they start being dicks?
That
Like it
was
used to be
his-
Chef Boyardee, but now everyone's like, "Hey, fuck you!"
No, I
you
think
know?
that was a Ramsey phenomenon
You
that
think
everybody
so?
started copying his playbook.
Yeah.
Bourdain also, his persona at the beginning was that of an honest asshole.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think that
Because that's how you survived in that cutthroat restaurant world.
you have to
of Manhattan
scream
cuisine.
at everyone. The owners are crazy. You know, the line cooks are nuts, and you have to kind of elevate yourself to that horrible level, I guess, or downgrade yourself.
And get this, he actually wrote a couple of novels in the 90s that didn't go anywhere. One of them was a culinary-themed crime novel called Bone in the Throat,
Oh my God!
also known as the Ed Gein story.
Yeah. Bone in your mother's hand.
Inspired by the writings of Elmore Leonard, who did Get Shorty and
Oh, yeah. Chinatown.
Jackie Brown.
Did he do Chinatown?
Not Chinatown.
Oh, okay, but he was inspired. He was inspired by Chinatown, probably.
Probably.
Okay.
Because that's a great crime story.
Of course.
And he also wrote one called Gone Bamboo.
What?
I wonder why these didn't go anywhere.
These titles are shit.
Bone in the throat.
And there was Gone Girl, eventually a book, but Gone Bamboo didn't really hit with the,
Yeah.
with the
Who
crowd.
stole my bamboo?
I would pay good money to hear Johnny Depp do Bone in the Throat because he was just on the witness stand and they were reading texts that he sent back to Amber Heard. And one of his texts was, I have other uses for your throat that don't include injury.
Oh my God.
Mamma mia.
Bone in the Throat.
It turned out she had
as
a
read by Johnny
bone
Depp.
in the throat.
And because
Johnny Depp.
because of Bourdain's notoriety, Bone in the Throat became a movie released in 2015 with Tom Wilkinson.
Wait, all of his movies came out in 2015. Burnt?
It was a good year.
It was a very good year.
There was a bone in the throat. And the bamboo was gone.
Put the bone in our throat. We've been waiting for you.
But watch out for 2018. It's about to get you.
See, Kyle went into the Jack Tripper show. real
Yeah,
quick.
Three's Company.
Yeah.
Three's Company.
Mr. Furley.
John Ritter. John Ritter, your mom's.
Yeah.
Of Mark's mom's fame.
Yeah, she wanted to go where John Ritter died, and that was one of her. Instead of going, some people would say, "Take me to the Hollywood Bowl."
sign
Yeah,
or
Hollywood
the ball.
sign.
Yeah.
My mom wanted to go where John Ritter died.
Where'd the dad from Problem Child die again?
As I always say, whatever blows your hair back.
Bourdain wrote an article about his life in the restaurant industry and sent it to the New Yorker. And that was published. It was a hit, and they wanted him to expand on it and make it a book.
Yeah.
That project eventually became Kitchen Confidential: Adventures in the Culinary Underbelly, published by Echo Press in 2000.
Yeah, in the movie, he had actually just kind of sent it to a friend that was like working at the New Yorker or something, or an editor for them or something. Just kind of out of the blue, just said, hey, and I'm sure it took him a lot of courage and balls to say, I know I just know you and we're friends, but I want you to look at this and put something in the New Yorker about me based off this. And the writing was just really that good, I think.
You're talking about the documentary, right?
Yeah.
It actually started out as emails where they noticed his prose.
Yeah.
He would print out Bourdain's emails, his friend, and he showed his wife, like, hey, you got to read this.
Yes, that's how the connection was made.
Because it was just so entertaining, so vivid. I can see why he was inspired by Elmore Leonard, because he's another one where you can smell what he's describing on the page.
I got to read one of those books. I got to read a book.
Yeah, it's so... Try it sometime.
I should.
It's never too late. Yeah, and so He's an executive chef. He didn't even tell his boss he was writing this book.
Yeah.
So he totally expected to be fired afterwards or have some repercussions, and none of that happened.
And his boss loved it, actually.
Yeah,
He loved the
Philippe-
notoriety.
Philippe Lajournée,
Philippe Nalule.
owner of Leal.
Leal.
They remained friendly.
Unpretentious Leal.
They remained friendly for the rest of Bourdain's life.
Thank you for coming to an unpretentious restaurant.
Called Leal.
Table for
Park Avenue.
Table for three. Ah, ha!
And I bet there was a dude from Wisconsin that was like, hey, where do we find Les Halles?
Les Halleys.
And they just stab him right in the chest and throw him in the back.
You are not referring to Leal by chance.
You are for dinner, Mr. Wisconsin guy.
They're chewing bubble yum.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Les Halles.
Yeah.
We hear they got some good hamburgers.
Yeah. They got the big cheese head thing on. The Wisconsin.
You sick fuck. They're called hamburgers.
You animals.
So the book, Kitchen Confidential, instant hit, considered an industry-disrupting sensation. It was this bold memoir that was at once a love letter to the restaurant industry, as well as a scathing critique. Bourdain seamlessly mixes his personal story with industry lore, trade secrets, and juicy gossip.
Ooh.
Would you like to hear a little more of it?
Steaks aren't the only thing that are
Yeah.
juicy around
Do you
here.
have an excerpt?
Yes.
How much longer am I going to do this? I don't know. I love it, you see. I love heating duck confit, saucisson de canard, confit gizzard,
Unpretentious.
poitrine and duck fat with those wonderful
Saucisson.
tarbay beans, spooning it into an earthenware crock and sprinkling it with breadcrumbs. I enjoy the
Spooning
look on
it
the
into
face
a
of my
crock.
boss when I do a pot au feu special, the look of sheer delight as he takes the massive bowl of braised hooves, shoulders, and tails,
Hooves?
and the simple boiled turnips, potatoes, and carrots looking just right, just the way it should be. I love that
Should be in
look,
the trash.
as I love the look on Pino's face when he gazed
Got
upon
any
a perfect
ketchup?
bowl of spaghetti alla Catara. The same look I get when I approach a Scott Bryan daube of beef, a plate of perfect oysters.
Oh.
His name in
Gaze
beef?
of wonder.
Yeah.
For a moment or a second,
The beef is
pinched
Scott.
expressions of the cynical, world-weary, throat-cutting, miserable bastards we've all had to become disappears when we're confronted with something as simple as a plate of food.
Excuse me, you got some duck fat leaking out of your crock?
The look on the face when you make a perfect c'est sans c'est sweet.
The look on Pino's face.
Nobody knows what the hell he's talking about. They don't even know what they ordered there.
Can I have the mozzarella sticks?
To be honest, when I was an impressionable kid, what he had with the oysters, I believe I had with the Frisco burger at Hardee's.
I had with chicken nuggets at McDonald's. Yeah.
I had with the cheese breadsticks at Papagino's.
There we go.
And some tidbits from this wild book, Kitchen Confidential, that just shocked everyone. Never order fish on Monday. Most seafood on Monday is about 4 to 5 days old. Brunch menus are a dumping ground for leftovers and scraps from busier nights, all in an effort to cut corners and costs.
I worked at a lot of restaurants and I believe all this shit. It's all gross. Like everything that they do are cutting corners. Like I worked at a pizza shop where a guy would make salads and like the salad was brown. And he was also a drunk, addicted to gambling, alcoholic. So like he turned out later he was smoking crack. So
Oh, good.
Sounds like Anthony
so it's not, I'm not
Bourdain.
saying it's every place, but a lot of places they cut corners and the food has been hanging out for a while. And you find that from Chef Gordon Ramsay when you watch Kitchen Nightmares.
Garçon, there's some fish eyes in my corned beef hash.
Yes.
Come to Papagino's where the salads are brown, but the money's green. Come on. Get in here.
Yeah.
Don't eat in a restaurant with filthy bathrooms. If management can't keep the toilet clean, then just picture what their kitchen looks and smells like.
That's true.
Chefs view chicken as boring, a menu item for people who don't know what they want to eat. Your body is not a temple, it's an amusement park. Enjoy the ride.
Your body's a dumpster.
If you're going to
Fill it up.
brunch.
Yeah.
At brunch it is.
Says the former heroin addict.
Yeah.
Rules for success in the restaurant industry. Don't lie. Be on time. Be proactive. and have a sense of humor.
Okay.
A quote from the book: vegetarians and their Hezbollah-like splinter faction, the vegans, are a persistent irritant to any chef worth a damn.
Vegans are just anorexia. Like they just don't want to eat anything, and they just want to excuse why they're not eating.
Yeah. Another quote: my naked contempt for vegetarians, sauce on ciders, the lactose intolerant, and the cooking of the Ewok-like Emerald Lagasse is not going to get me my own show on the Food Network.
Wow. Bam! Damn, he fucking threw some stones at people.
Cut to, he had a show on the Food Network shortly after.
Really?
Yeah.
But Emerald Lagasse wasn't the owner of that network. He just had a big show on there.
Oh, that was the worst. In some ways, Anthony Bourdain was like the antidote to those
He was
showy,
like the punk
cheerful
rock,
celebrity chefs that would like juggle their spaghetti.
Yeah, on like the Tonight Show and stuff. Johnny Carter would be like, "Whoa, that's wild stuff."
That's some wacky pasta you got.
Whoa.
You said it, Johnny.
I've been eating in years.
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain became a star very fast on the book tour circuit, setting the stage for his TV career. It was literally overnight fame at age 44.
You gotta love that.
And
never too late.
His first stop was the Food Network, where he briefly hosted a show called A Cook's Tour, which was based on his follow-up book to Kitchen Confidential. He eventually left the network when they refused to fund his proposed trip to Catalonia because the network wanted him to stay home. They preferred domestic locales.
Where's Catalonia? Is that Spain?
Yes, in Spain, where Eladia is.
Eladia, yeah, the birthplace of Eladia.
Not to be confused with Catalina, which is where Robert Wagner murdered Natalie Wood.
That's true. Sounds
accidentally murdered.
Allegedly.
Accidentally on purpose, maybe.
Wow.
Bourdain had utter disdain for the Food Network after that. When he's rising, what's popular then is Beat Bobby Flay, $40 a day with Rachel Ray.
I went to go see Beat Bobby Flay.
You did?
Yes, and I would get paid like $40 or $30 just to go see 2 episodes.
Really?
Rich.
Did you beat it?
You bragged to your friends at the time?
No, but if you go back, you can see me in the crowd because there was only probably like 30 of us there.
Well, I'm going to go back right now.
Yeah.
You're like the Where's Waldo of like weird pop culture shit. You're like Forrest Gump. You're the guy in the background.
Yeah, of the Steve Wilkos show and Beat Bobby Flay.
I'm sure you had a good time, too.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, you don't sound like you had that good a time.
Yeah, it was all right. The food smelled good. We couldn't have any, though.
Well, that's bullshit.
I know.
But yeah, I could see why Anthony Bourdain wouldn't really fit into this mold of what they're trying to do. He wants to go off and he really just wants to do his own thing.
Yeah.
And travel around to all these places, but they just don't have the budget, or that's not really what they wanted to run with. And he wanted to do his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be Paula Deen.
Yeah.
He's not Guy Fieri.
But he's also beggars can't be choosers type thing. But at this time, he had a little heat that he could actually feel a little more comfortable.
So much heat.
Yeah.
He was a rock star after this book.
After the book, that's when everything changed.
And so this is that
he had a little more power.
He was everywhere. He was on Oprah. He was on CNN. He was all over the place. In 2005, he joined the Travel Channel and hosted No Reservations. This is where I mixed up that title.
Okay.
Not the Catherine Zeta-Jones movie.
Whose clam is apparently poison. Trying to kill Michael Douglas, giving him throat cancer.
The deadly oyster.
From HPV.
And he stayed with the Travel Channel until 2012. The year of the Mayan calendar apocalypse.
Oh, yeah, the Nicolas Cage movie.
John Cusack.
John Cusack, really, yeah.
It was a typical food and travel show with Bourdain's signature touch of flippant humor and a carousing atmosphere. They were smoking and drinking their way through the world.
Yeah.
Drink a beer with the president.
Later on. That was his show on CNN called Parts Unknown.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right now he's on the Travel Channel. And he said, quote, I travel around the world, eat a lot of shit, and basically do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, that's just very him to like swear like that, like he's a badass. He had the earring and stuff, and he was just he was a badass.
Yeah, punk rocker.
Yeah,
of chefs. He did find the show creatively satisfying because he realized the possibilities of filmmaking. For instance, one episode in Rome was shot in black and white Italian cinema verite style.
Yeah, like a spaghetti western or something.
Not even like
a
the
Sergio
Bicycle
Leone.
Thief.
Oh yeah, Bicycle Thief.
Yeah.
Los Digits.
Oh, does he steal bikes?
Friend of the show. He used to out in India.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's a bike thief.
Yeah.
Well, if it's not in Italy.
Yeah. I think the cinematography and the overall look would be way worse. It's some desert area of Riverside, California.
Not in black and white.
No, yeah, in scary color.
One episode found his crew in Beirut during the Israel-Lebanon conflict in July 2006.
Yeah, he had a lot of hot takes on that,
and the
but very balanced.
Emmy nominated, which means a lot, you know.
Sure, at
And
that time.
this episode captured their encounters with Hezbollah supporters
Oh, the vegans?
and the crew's eventual escape with the help of a fixer who Bourdain dubbed Mr. Wolf after Harvey Keitel in Pulp
Winston
Fiction.
Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a body in the trunk minus a head in the back seat.
But yet, like you alluded to, he wasn't real thrilled that they were going to capitalize on this conflict
Yeah.
to promote the episode. He didn't even want it to see the light of day.
But it's CNN, right?
No, this is Travel Channel.
Okay,
at
this is Travel
point.
Channel. But still, you know, he knows that's going to happen. He knows they want to fucking get as big as possible.
He's aware he has to play the game.
Yeah, that's playing the game. Yeah.
He's calling their bluff. They're calling his bluff.
But yeah, he, like I said, he gave a very balanced, both sides version of that. And I don't know if he was Jewish or I think he was just French.
He was Jewish.
He was, okay.
Non-practicing. It wasn't a religious household.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jewish.
Okay.
Which
yeah.
he said, even if I don't believe
He did
in
mention
anything,
in the episode.
I'm
yeah.
still Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Other media that Bourdain was featured in, he appeared multiple times as a judge on Bravo's Top Chef. He wrote the story for 4 episodes of Treme, the David Simon HBO show.
But he wrote the entire
4 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the story.
Wow.
And other books he went on to write are Medium Raw and The Nasty Bits. Is
that one? That sounds like one book, but it sounds like a good book.
Sounds like a punk rock band.
Yeah, or a punk rock
Medium
band.
Raw
Yeah.
and The Nasty
Yeah.
Bits.
The
They
Nasty
opened
Bits.
for the Ramones at CBGB's.
They're the special guests that night,
yeah.
The Nasty Bits.
The Nasty Bits.
Together again.
One of those guys are at the bar like, yeah, I'm one of the Nasty Bits.
I'm
Trying to pick up some chick.
Want to smell me?
I'm one of the Nasty Bits, mate.
Oi, we were the Nasty Bits and we didn't care about nothing.
Smell me piss.
Yeah, I'm a Nasty Bits. I'm about to go take a shit.
Can I go home now?
Yeah, I'm going to check, please.
Can you unlock your door?
Yeah. Can I get out of here?
Fox, as I mentioned earlier, adapted his book Kitchen Confidential into a sitcom in 2005 with Bradley Cooper as Jack Bourdain.
That is so weird.
An
That's so
executive
crazy.
chef and recovering drug addict. It lasted 13 episodes.
If the show gets canceled and fails, why not make a movie out
Why
of it
not?
in 10 years?
Yeah.
But this is before Bradley Cooper actually became famous. That's
Way
so
before.
weird.
Yeah, way before. This is crazy because I used to watch Fox then, so I'm sure I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Fox then.
Well, I mean, Fox, like, it had like Titus, it had all these like good sitcoms and stuff around that time.
Yeah,
And The Simpsons, of course.
of course.
Which
that
he was
stuff.
on as well. Anthony Bourdain
But
guest
later on,
as
like
himself
you
later
gotta
on.
Oh,
really
okay.
be a big celebrity to get that Simpsons
Yeah.
treatment.
Yeah.
And he appeared on the kids show Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yo, Gabba Gabba.
That was him?
Uh-huh. He also appeared as himself in the 2015 again, The Big Short, where he used seafood stew as an analogy for collateralized debt
I love that
obligation.
movie.
Whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, I still don't understand it, but I love that movie, and I love anything that kind of delves into the 2008 market crash. So
Right now, I don't need to hear about it.
yeah,
but
I think we're all burnt out on it. If
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hello.
No pun intended with burnt.
Yeah.
Title.
Scorched.
He left Travel Channel in 2012, as I said, ingloriously as he put it, because he was annoyed with the new ownership. And apparently they had edited an episode of his show to make it look like he was endorsing the brand Cadillac. So he wanted more control of his image and work.
Yeah.
So he left.
So he didn't own the show, then.
No.
I think that's a big thing. When you own the show, you have more control over anything that happens because you're like the production company. You're the show.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of tell the channel, what you're going to be putting on there based on your contract. And it's all about the
kiss me bits.
Kiss me bits. I don't give two shits. See you later.
Then he went to CNN in 2013 with the show Parts Unknown.
Very rarely do people go to CNN and say, like, I'm going to really let my hair down here.
Yeah.
It seemed like a desperate move at the time, but it became a popular show.
Well, CNN at that time, very interesting in the scope of like all history.
Piers Morgan
was back there, but also they were like so desperate. They brought in Jeff Zucker.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing comedy. They were like
Really?
doing the history of comedy on CNN because they were so down in the ratings and stuff.
They were doing a lot of those VH1, like, I love the 90s
This is-
type
Yes,
documentaries,
they were. Yeah.
This was exactly.
which is always a desperate move.
And then Carrot Top hit the scene. Things were crazy.
Ben Savage comments on the Go-Go's.
Michael Ian Black.
Yeah.
Keeping Michael
It
Ian
was
Black
like best
employed.
week ever. Yeah. Paul Shear's talking about fucking Ben Vereen.
Ben Vereen.
But like,
Remember that time he was run over by a car?
hilarious. Another episode.
Yes, although he survived.
But this was before Trump came in. And they were able to really make a lot of money on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
So before Trump, CNN was like in fucking shambles.
Floundering.
Now they're going back to that.
And
but-
they're floundering again.
Yeah.
They had that failed app recently.
Oh, that app, $300 million.
Not one person wanted.
$300 million.
So it was as bad as Quibi.
They
shut up shop so fast you didn't even know it existed.
Quibi was at least around for a year.
Not even, no.
No, like
Close.
a couple
Months.
weeks, months.
Months.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, CNN was like 2 or 3 weeks, wasn't it? It was like instant.
Yeah, it
they
was
shut
worse
down.
than Quibi.
Yeah.
No, they say that it was done because the new leadership came in with Warner Media and stuff that wanted to like just and they knew they wanted to end it right away.
Wow.
But I don't know why.
That's the classic move of the new ownership or the new executive.
Yeah.
You got to axe what the last executive was working on.
Yeah.
I guess so, but
Fuck that
it was
shit.
funny because on that CNN Plus, it was gonna have like that Jake, whatever his name is, guy.
Jake
He was gonna have a
Tapper.
cooking show. Jake Tapper was
Oh.
gonna have a cooking show.
No,
Oh,
he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No.
Because,
Oh my God.
He's like, I'm the new Anthony Bourdain.
and like a book show. He's like, yeah, I don't give a f about this food I'm cooking.
Oh,
he was trying
God.
to be
If
Anthony
they
Bourdain.
wanted people to subscribe, all they needed to do was bring back the Cuomo brothers.
yeah.
Yeah. For their own show.
The
Yeah.
circus.
Put him in a jail cell.
Yeah. A live cam.
Yeah.
While they do their weird family shtick.
Yeah, it's so hilarious. What are they gonna say next?
That's what they were doing. They had a dog and pony show during the pandemic.
You're a meatball. No, you're a meatball.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Fafungal, you.
Like, okay, are we supposed to be laughing? Are
I
we supposed to be
know.
entertained?
This camaraderie is hilarious. This brothership.
Good God.
So, Parts Unknown, another food and travel show. This time it aimed to cover places and cultures off the beaten path. It won the Peabody Award in its first season, which took him from such places like Congo, which is the setting of one of his favorite books, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say his favorite book was Congo, about the movie Congo.
Amy,
Maybe-
want green drop, drink.
The Making of Congo. It's a 1,000-page memoir.
Day one.
Day one.
The gorillas are angry.
Amy, want drink.
Tim Curry is thirsty. He would like a diet Sprite, but regular Sprite is okay if you don't have diet.
He said when he was on Rocky Horror Picture Show, he never dealt with any shit like this before.
His Bourdain's favorite movie, at least one of them, was Apocalypse Now. So that was another reason he was excited to go to the
So,
Congo.
Heart of Darkness, the book based
Apocalypse
off of
Now.
Apocalypse Now.
He was constantly throwing movie references into his show.
He was, yeah.
He was a huge film buff.
Yeah, I remember one he did Get Carter. I think that was a big one he did when he went to Northern England and stuff. So,
So he always had fun with his shows. They're very entertaining.
Yeah,
They're
great.
not the typical travel shows.
No.
After Congo, he would go to places like Myanmar and even the tight-knit community of Koreatown, Los Angeles.
Oh.
In 2016, as you guys mentioned, he famously sat down with President Barack Obama for a lunch at a Vietnamese noodle shop in Hanoi.
That's kind of crazy. Well, I, of course, Obama did it in the second term when he knew it was like safe.
The very end.
Obama also sat down for an interview with YouTube personality Glozell Green, who's known for having green lipstick and green fingernails.
Yeah. So the bar was
so
low.
this isn't that much of a get.
And
really.
he was on Comedians and Cards getting coffee.
And WTF.
Oh, yeah. Pow! I got the president here.
So by the time Bourdain's got him in a noodle shop, it's like big deal.
Yeah, it was kind of a cheap date at that time.
Yeah. He's been around the block by that point.
Of course.
He was like one of those P-Town dudes, you know.
Whoa!
One of those sluts.
Or cruising gay guys.
Yep.
Let's talk about his persona for a second, Anthony Bourdain. His whole career brought him to this, this icon he's become. His look, ruggedly handsome, tall, leather jacket, cowboy boots, earring, cigarette in hand. It's a punk rock kind of thing.
Daddy.
Someone named Brett Martin wrote a book called Difficult Men, where he compared Bourdain to other male auteurs of his era, like David Chase and David Simon.
Oh, really?
Who he wrote Treme for.
Yeah.
Quote, "You can't read Kitchen Confidential without seeing how deeply a kind of damaged manhood was baked into restaurant culture. Kitchens are the most Freudian places in the world. With all three, Bourdain, Chase, and Simon, their work is about men who are deeply fucked up by the neuroses of modern masculinity. I think Bourdain spent a lot of his later years recognizing and repenting for that." End quote.
Oh, okay.
Food for thought. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Well,
saucissoir for thought.
Clams for ass.
Oyster for never mind.
I don't have one of those. Yeah, I can see that definitely. I think Howard Stern is someone who definitely had some looking back.
He's got so many mommy and daddy issues.
Yeah, totally. But I can see that with Anthony Bourdain. Maybe that's what led him down the kind of mental path that he.
It absolutely
going on.
did.
Yeah.
Bourdain referred to Kitchen Confidential as the meathead Bible for restaurant employees because, as you heard, it's a very vivid literary style, but it's also crude at times. He'll say the word pussy. He'll say the F word.
The F word. Another.
I like how I said pussy and then the F word instead of fuck. But you get what I'm saying? Like, Granny might not sit down and love Kitchen Confidential.
This ain't your grandma's cooking show. This ain't Julia Child.
This ain't your grandma's fucking pussy.
Yeah, Julia Child. She was never like, eating my first oyster was like eating pussy for the first time.
Hey, Julia, we like what you're doing. I think we're going to cut the pussy part. I hope that's okay. But anyway, let's start back up.
And then Michael Ian Black is commenting on her in a VH1 special. She had balls.
Yeah, next season on CNN's bullshit that Michael Ian Black talks about.
Also part of Anthony Bourdain's persona was being self-loathing. He fully understood that his own privileged background fueled his disdain for the bourgeoisie, for anything bourgeois like his parents loving him.
Even though he's really leaning into it with a lot of the food that he's talking about here.
I know.
He's trying to bring like a street punk rock aesthetic to high-end food, which I do it like, I'm a wild man,
In a lot of ways, he sees himself as that grizzled Frenchman who had the boat.
Yeah.
These are just foods he loves. They happen to have French names. He doesn't view that as pretentious.
Yeah, he's like, my rich-ass parents. They're like, oh, what are you cooking? He's like, duck à l'enfant.
I got the Frisco burger.
He cuts up his caviar with like a shard of glass and stuff.
He snorts caviar. He also often said he wasn't much of a cook. he had what's called imposter syndrome. He didn't understand why he had all this praise thrown at him.
Of course because he worked so hard at it. That's what's so bullshit. Maybe this is what my mom was referring to.
And
He's so full of shit.
Fame was a cause for discomfort.
Oh, come
him.
on.
You're so full of shit, your eyes are brown.
Why didn't you stay in that New Jersey town then?
He became a reluctant emissary.
I'm turning
a
on him.
reluctant global ambassador.
Bullshit.
And a reluctant populist TV host.
Is this going to be the first time that an actual subject of our podcast is going to become put on the shit list?
Not yet.
Yes, I'm very. I've written,
Mark's mom's already put him on in pencil.
Yeah.
Hear me out. We're not done yet.
Mark's about to go over it in pen.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe if something happens later on the podcast, it'll fade away like Marty in Back to the Future.
In 2007, he added an extra chapter to Kitchen Confidential called Aftermath, where he said, quote, "I once felt safe and at home in the kitchen. I knew the rules, or thought I knew the rules. It was a life of absolutes, and that comforted me in a way nothing since has."
spoken like a true 50s housewife.
Yeah.
I belong in the kitchen.
Yeah. Who am I going to be this week?
Early on in the Travel Channel days, he would do things like eat a beating cobra heart
Nice.
for shock value. And then later he got more comfortable with his persona, and then his
Got more comfortable from
his
that?
travel logs, yeah, comfortable enough to kill himself.
Oh, okay. Oh, jeez.
His travel
Jumping ahead.
logs. That's it. Good night, folks. His travel logs evolved from humorous, boozy adventures to deeper explorations into food and culture. Like with Parts Unknown, it would explore political and social inequality. And he felt that you could understand those issues better
If he was eating a ton of food in front of him.
through an investigation of what and how we eat in different cultures.
Yeah, he's stuffing his face. He's like, no, these people are poor as fuck. They can't even afford it.
And that's funny you say that, because in Parts Unknown, in one episode, they go to Haiti. And when they were done filming, they had all this extra food. I've heard documentarians talk about this.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a fly on the wall. So if someone needs $1, you're not supposed to give them the $1.
Yeah,
So
you're supposed to film them.
Anthony
asking for it.
Bourdain, yeah, like Sam Kinison said. And so they announced, oh, we have extra food here. It caused a riot.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the documentary in
Wow.
Parts Unknown. And like, yeah, so many people started coming out and telling other people about it and everything. And
Oh,
more
shit.
people kept coming and coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it just started piling up. A lot of people, you know, it just shows you the utter poverty there,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. you
And
know?
he became political without meaning to with stuff like that.
Yeah.
The power of just even showing someone's culture.
If
understanding
anyone
it.
sees like a CNN or, you know, whatever Time Warner truck roll in, you know, they know they're going to start asking for money and stuff if it's a poorer area.
Yeah. On Fresh Air in 2016, the Terry Gross NPR show,
Oh, geez, Louise. Of the people here, yeah.
the same network that caused Charles Rocket's death,
Yep.
Anthony Bourdain gave an interview where he said, quote, "It just seems to me the more you are able to show people's everyday lives, often as they revolve around food and daily tasks, when something happens in the news, you have a better idea of who we're talking about here." End quote. So Anthony Bourdain liked getting in there, exploring these cultures, showing them, and he would prefer the street vendors who, you know, maybe they make one or two really good things. He preferred that to a fancy chef where it takes 10 minutes for them to describe the meal you're about to order.
Yeah.
But it's also something that he does too.
I know he does it. Like if he really wanted to get a good experience at a restaurant, you know, he would want to know exactly what the specials were, how they're going to be cooked, how fresh everything was. Like, you know,
Gordon Ramsay would say, he would ask, "What do you make best?"
how the lamb was talked to when it was still living. Like he'd be at like, you know, it would be that absurd. But then he's like, "Oh, I really like these street vendors that, you know, that scrape meat off the bottom of the truck and put it in a bun for me."
The tides are turning on Mr. Bourdain.
I
here.
know.
really fast. Oh, you'll have empathy maybe in a minute.
In a little bit. Okay.
Although actually he kind of becomes more of an asshole.
Okay.
But, you know, you decide.
Sure.
Fans, diehards.
Yep.
And a big thing for Bourdain was he understood the role of immigrant labor in fine dining. He held esteem for the overlooked backbone of the American restaurant culture. Quote, "No one understands the American dream of hard work leading to material rewards more than a non-American. The Mexican, Dominican, and Salvadorian cooks I've worked with over the years make most CIA educated, which means Culinary Institute of America."
Yeah, different CIA.
Oh, well, yeah.
Slightly different.
Very different.
Which makes
Or is
most
it?
CIA educated white boys look like clumsy, sniveling little punks.
Yeah. Well, cooking school, what can you really learn there? Maybe part of that I kind of understand because there are cooking schools, but do you learn a lot from those schools?
You're certainly not learning a lot about the backbone and the throat.
Yeah.
Of the American dining system.
That's what he thought about that.
No, but he talks like someone like he's running for office or something. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe he had designs to do that.
maybe.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Now let's get to a little bit into his family life. He had been with his wife, Nancy Pukowski for nearly 30 years. And their marriage and romance was born out of youth and rebellion.
Would they meet stealing hubcaps or something?
They met in
Stealing chromies.
They got
Yeah.
married in the 80s
Okay.
when, he was
He was in the middle of
shooting heroin off of
middle
the carpet.
of rehabs. Yeah, going crazy.
Then he met this woman named Ottavia Busia
Okay.
through a close friend and fellow chef Eric Repair.
What? These names are outrageous.
Ottavia worked for Eric Repair, and so Bourdain and her started out having this fling, and then it turned serious very quickly. They got married in 2007. That was the same year that their daughter, Ariane, was born. And Ariane is his only daughter.
First daughter at 50.
Yeah.
Wow. So the first wife, he just it's not working out.
They got married young.
Yeah.
And once they were, two pirates
Yeah.
fighting the world. And that wears off in your 50s, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Bourdain loved being a father. And he claimed he enjoyed every second he could spend with his daughter while he was at home, which really wasn't that often.
Yeah.
He flirted with domesticity.
But this is all an excerpt from his show. But what was the reality? He was never home.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
This is how he's describing it.
Yeah.
Because he felt normal. This is like the Superman costume he's putting on.
Yeah.
Or no, this is Clark Kent, I mean.
But he does that for a while, and he's like, I'm getting kind of bored. I want to do something else.
Yeah.
He's got to take the costume off and go
Yeah.
be himself again. So after about a week, this euphoria would fade, and he'd want to go out and get back on the road. One of his musician friends, Josh Holm, called it the bittersweet curse. Nothing feels better than going home. Nothing feels better than leaving home. And that's what Anthony fought with.
Yeah.
And the romance with Ottavia dissipated after a few years, and their divorce was finalized in 2016.
Josh Homme, by the way, lead singer of Queens of the Stone Age, touring guitarist with Screaming Trees. He's very famous.
Oh, wait. Oh, that was his
Extremely
friend?
famous.
I met
Yeah.
that guy a couple of years ago down in the valley at Dave Grohl's barbecue.
Oh, shit.
Oh, the famous barbecue.
The famous barbecue. Yeah.
You were asked to leave.
Yeah. When I didn't get asked to leave, but I did not get asked to
And
leave.
what did you say to
Nick Lachey?
Nick
Yeah.
Lachey.
Nick Lachey,
Yeah.
that's
what
right.
it was.
Yeah.
You said something to Nick Lachey.
I didn't say anything bad. I was like, hey, you're from 98 Degrees. And he took it personally.
He's like, I wasn't in 98 Degrees.
Yeah, well, he didn't get that defensive in saying that he wasn't in the group.
No, didn't he say oh, you hear that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's all the girls screaming for 98 Degrees or something
No, he
stupid.
goes, do you hear that noise? I was like, no, I don't hear anything besides the music at this bar. And he's like, oh no, that's all the teenage girls screaming my name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, okay. And it just got very weird from there. But that guy, Josh Holm, is very nice. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was very good friends with Bourdain, and they had kids, around the same time. So
Yep.
he was looking forward to getting
No
older
shit.
with
Okay.
Bourdain and the kids playing together. They had plans.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't go so well, though.
no.
He's from Joshua Tree,
Yeah,
California.
he's from
Yes.
inland here, which is
Yeah.
weird. Where was Anthony Bourdain rearing his children? Where were they living?
New York.
They were okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that brings us to 2016.
Bum, bum. But first, a word from our sponsor.
You know I'm waiting, just anticipating things I may never possess.
Bounty, chocolat noir.
Un goût nouveau.
Bounty, chocolat noir.
Un nouveau goût de paradis.
Well, folks, this episode of Death and Entertainment ended up being so meaty that we can't even consume it in one helping. So we'll be back next week with the rest of the course.
I've never regretted the unexpected left turn that dropped me in the restaurant business, and I've long believed that good food, good eating is all about risk. Whether we're talking about unpasteurized Stilton, raw oysters, or working for organized crime associates, food, for me, has always been an adventure.
Tune in next week on Death and Entertainment.